The dubious honor of introducing tonight the Honorable Gipson, and I was going over his resume trying to whittle it down because it's several pages long, but he's a big cattle farmer and tree farmer from down in Simpson County, and as I always joke, he is wearing shoes. Boots tonight, that's right, and he's on his way to the dinner in honor of Phil, and I'm sure Phil will probably have his boots on too. He represented District 77 ranking in Simpson counties. He was over Judd B in ethics, House Ways and Means, Ag, several committees there. Served, let's see, when were you first elected? 07? 07. I get out to the good stuff, since he's not in the legislature anymore. The Conservative Coalition chose Mr. Gipson, Brother Gipson, as the Conservative Legislator of the Year. That says a lot, it means a lot, because there aren't many around who can have that title, if you ask me. Mothers Get Struck Drivers chose him as Legislator of the Year for at least 3 years. Pro-Life Legislator of the Year, of course. NRA gave him the Defender of Freedom Award at least once, if I'm not mistaken, selected him as the Kirk Fordyce Freedom Award, for the Fordyce Freedom Award. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, as many of us great patriots do. And let's see, he and his family are engaged in reopening the Hilltop Memorial Children's Ranch, a faith-based outreach, which I like very much. And they deal with children suffering from brain injuries and that trauma and all. And he's an ordained Baptist minister, so he likes to get you good and wet. Having served as pastor and evangelist, he and Miss Leslie have 4 children, and he truly is one of our great pro-life leaders. If I'm not mistaken, you were just down at the Jackson City Council standing against their anti-freedom of speech ordinance, surprise, surprise, from the liberals on the Jackson Council. Regarding the abortion clinic there in Jackson, the only one we have left in the state, and pray God it'll be gone before too long. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for the Honorable Gipson.
Well, it is good to be back with you. I've been here many times before, and I want to thank you for the invitation to come. I do want to recognize my wife, Leslie. She's right over there. She came tonight. And she's never been here. It is true. I couldn't do what I do without her support, her help, and our 4 children, Joseph, Benjamin, Abigail, and Sarah. We are very much a family, and we love to live on our farm. I just came from there. We're going up to a farewell event for our governor and first lady, and we certainly are going to miss them. They've done such a great job for the conservative cause in the state of Mississippi. And you know, somebody said Phil Bryant was our first Tea Party governor. I guess that would probably be correct. I want to thank you for having me. You know my conservative beliefs and the principles that I have stood for. And now, as your Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce, I'm getting to continue that in a variety of different ways. I don't know that there's any other office that touches so many different aspects of our lives. For example, we're just wrapping up the State Fair. And today's the last day of the State Fair. It's the largest event in the state of Mississippi. In this role, I serve as chairman of the Fair Commission. And we host that event. It's all going well this year. But we want to bring agriculture back to the center of the fair. That's the reason we have a State Fair, is because of agriculture. So we've started some new events. We had a pumpkin contest. We had a horse and mule pull the other day. And really reminding people that agriculture is why we had a State Fair to begin with. Agriculture is the biggest part of our economy. It always has been, and it looks like it will be for many, many years to come. It's an $8 billion impact in our economy every single year, not counting the processing, the value-added component of that. That's just farm gate value. 29% of the people who work in Mississippi work in some agriculture-related occupation. That's nearly 1/3 of our people. And so, you know, it's important that we recruit other businesses here to Mississippi and other job opportunities, but at the end of the day, that's the biggest piece of our economic puzzle is agriculture. And when it comes to commerce, we are promoting Mississippi. I'm wearing on my I'm proud to be a Mississippian. Y'all? Yeah. We started the Genuine Mississippi program last year to promote everything grown, raised, crafted, and made right here in the Magnolia State. Just got back from Taiwan last month. Taiwan is the free island there right next to China. China thinks that they own Taiwan. They're trying to take it over, but they don't. They are an independent country, and we were able to secure a deal for our farmers here in Mississippi, soybean and corn farmers, to the tune of $2.2 billion. That's what commerce is all about. And you know, if we can't sell them to China, let's sell them somewhere else. Y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. We're not going to be held hostage by a communist, atheist country. I support our president, by the way. He's doing the right thing. He announced last Friday that that deal is just about done. And it's going to be a win-win for our farmers and for our country as a whole as we move forward. So I'm doing a lot of commerce. I've had the opportunity to roll back a lot of regulations since I've been Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce. The mobile food vendor regulations that required people to have an electric refrigeration in the back of their truck. You know what? It didn't even keep it as cold as a good old-fashioned ice box. So we rolled back that regulation, make it easier for our farmers to get their frozen products to farmers markets and other mobile food vendors. As long as it stays at 42 degrees or something like that, then it's good to go. We rolled back a number of other regulations, making it easier for people to do business in this state as farmers and as in the commerce side of things as well. And we are really, I'll give you one example, trying to run this agency like a business. I have a business background. I try to think like a business person. And so when it came to the Fair Commission, we were spending about $300,000 a year. When I came here last April, $300,000 a year the Fair Commission was spending to hire an electrician on a contract to do patchwork on the fairgrounds. And what we did was we hired our own electrician for $60,000 a year, certified, highly qualified, saved $240,000, and then we were able to put air conditioning in the bathrooms over there at the livestock farms. How about that? That's how you run an agency, run it like a business. And by finding savings, instead of raising people's taxes, finding savings in the government, and then applying those savings back where we need it the most in our infrastructure. That same principle would apply, by the way, to our roads and bridges. We don't need to raise anybody's taxes. We need to apply the savings that are there. Believe me, they're there. Amen. To our long-term needs. Well, I feel like I've gone too long. Somebody asked about catfish. Catfish is we are number one. Mississippi's number one in catfish. Of course, chicken's our number one industry. Timber's number two. After that, cotton, corn, soybeans. It changes every year. But then we've got a great beef, 500,000 head of cattle in this state. But we are number one in catfish. For many years, catfish has suffered because of the import of these foreign swab fish. And the Food and Drug Administration was the one that was letting them in with really no regulation, no oversight at all. Well, this past year, Congress allowed for USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, to do those inspections. And as a result, a lot of that foreign fish has been found to be unhealthy and has been stopped before it got to our plates. And by the way, we have a law in Mississippi that requires if you're selling U.S. farm-raised fish, you got a sign that says that. I mean, people put that sign up so you know you're buying U.S. farm-raised fish, supporting our farmers, versus somebody over in, a ditch over in Asia, Vietnam, somewhere over there. So they're on the rebound. Catfish is doing better. I want to encourage you to always look for that sign, and if you don't see it, ask the owner, are you selling U.S. farm-raised fish? They certainly, we would do well to support our local farmers. And then the other question you had was on the pumps, finish the pumps. We had a little controversy over there at the fairgrounds this year about that. The wildlife extravaganza has turned out to be controlled by the Sierra Club and National Audubon Society, all these liberal environmentalist tree hugger groups, and they wouldn't even let the farmers from the Delta put a booth in the event. And so a lot of the vendors pulled out. People were calling me, are we going to have a wildlife show? Why are we doing this? Well, we are going to have a wildlife show, but it's going to be under new management. It's under the management of the Mississippi Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks Foundation. So all those proceeds will stay to promote youth-related outdoor activities that will stay in Mississippi and not go to the liberals out in California fighting against our farmers. We made that little change, and we'll be having that show July 31st, August 1st, and August the 2nd. And I will wrap up by saying, I'm not a stranger to controversy. Y'all know that, you know. But when the right thing to do is clear, we need to do it no matter what or who it offends. Y'all agree with that? Like this Jackson ordinance the other day, taking away freedom of speech in the name of whatever economic development, I guess, or whatever ordinance they were pushing over there. I wonder how our founding fathers would feel, what's more important, freedom of speech or economic development. They fought and bled, many of them died, that we might have this fundamental freedom of speech. And you know, when it came down to being taxed out their ears, they decided to take a load of tea and throw it in the water. How about that? That's all that was more important. It's more important to be free. And so we need to always be vigilant against those who oppose our fundamental freedoms, religious freedom, Second Amendment rights, First Amendment freedom of speech. I will always be there. I'll always be fighting. I will always be listening. And I want to thank you for allowing me to represent you. I want your vote and your support November 5th to keep serving as your Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce. God bless you. God bless the Mississippi Tea Party. All right, we'll see you all.